Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cards and Castles Ultimate. Today I'm going to be playing through a few levels of the campaign. I'm not sure how many, maybe like about half of them. Hold on. So I think there's about 9 or so, so maybe play through like 4 or 5. And I will be going over the decks that you get with whenever you win. You'll usually get a pre-made deck. Alright, Salt-Soaked Ships. Thank you for taking the time to inspect the battlements, Lady Genevieve. I know you're busy. It's no trouble. Everything looks up to standards, so I'll be heading off for my daily prayers. Wait, Lady Genevieve. Do you see those ships in the river? I don't recognize that banner. Avast, holy warriors! Oh my god, that was way too loud. Avast, holy warriors! The dread pirate Robbins comes to plunder the church's hoard. Pirates, we've no fear of you. To arms! Okay, we have to win. It's a tutorial level. Lucian, the tutorial wizard is about to teach us how to fight. Pay attention. Yeah, thanks. I'm just gonna play through this quickly. Yes, I know how to play. This is probably a good way that teaches you how to play the game. If you have not watched my going over everything video. However, I would recommend that you... Okay, thanks. I would recommend that you watch that video, as I go into depth about everything. Thank you, tutorial wizard. I appreciate that. La-da-dee, la-da-doo, la-da-dum. Now he'll probably just let me win, I guess. Oh, he's actually attacking me. Really? Oh. Okay, so for that guy, even if he pushes into somebody, it'll still do the damage. Alright. Age of Dinosaurs. Oh, sorry. A fitting end for this lot. Don't get too comfortable, Lucian. The battle's not over yet. Look. More ships? Oh no. Alright. Age of Dinosaurs. If I can select it, thank you. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at this deck, and then I'll explain how it works. Okay, so this deck is mainly focused on, well, dinosaurs of course, but the early game is more aggro and controlling with your units to build up into your late game bigger dinosaurs and other creatures. So specifically, we have Baby Dino, Killer Monkey for our 1-drop units. They can get a lot of early game damage on the opposing castle, while Baby Dino also allows you to get a Tyrannosaur, which we'll go over later, for your late game. There's also Deft Maneuver, that can allow your units to teleport closer so you can get more damage. And then we have Daradun Digger, of course, as he's in like every deck, for who knows why. Well, he's actually just a good way to cycle cards. But... And then also for some more damage for the early game, we have Kage Ishikura, Pterodactyl, and Velociraptor. Those are our 2-drop units, all ways that they can maneuver around your opponent's units to get guaranteed damage, almost guaranteed. And then we have Recruit, which finds a blackguard in your deck, which is only Kage, Killer Monkey, and Kunai. The Kunai Master, which we'll get to in a bit, and allows you to draw it. So that is mainly to get one of your control guys, in case you need it. And then Tranquility, pretty useful control unit, or sorry, control spell that can bounce your opponent's cards back to their hand. For our 3 drops, these are more focused on, I guess a little bit of control. But Fujin, God of Winds, will get your spell, or will let you draw cards from your deck. But will only let you keep it if it's a spell. Which, that's kind of weird that's in this deck, because there are 3 spells in the whole deck. I guess this was mainly a way of actually receiving this card for free, instead of having to draw it from packs. And then Kunai Master is a nice way to deal damage to a bunch of enemies, maybe finish them off with some little pings. And Mystic Panda can get fairly large if there are units near your castle that you also need to get rid of. For a 4-drop, we have Stegosaurus, just a tanky little guy. Sorry, tanky big guy. He can be a good blocker for your castle. And for our 5 drops, we have Kaiger, which, well, he's got Regenerate, but he's also a way of making it a little bit harder for your opponent to play the game. And then Tyrannosaur is going to be our main dinosaur synergy card, because he'll buff all your dinosaurs, and also, at the end of each turn, I guess it's at the start of each turn, every unit that is near it, even including yours, will go the max distance they can travel away from him. So we might be able to see that later. For the 6-drop, we have Brontosaurus. So when he's played and when he deals damage, he'll scatter every unit on the board. This can be a good way of either pushing your units closer to the castle, or pushing your opponent's blockers out of the castle. We also have Behemothra, which can create copies of expensive cards in your hand. Eventually, if you have 2 of these, you can keep cycling them, which is a pretty useful little tool. We have the Dinosaur Mafia, which you can play, and at the end of the turn, it will summon all these guys. The Tyrannosaurus, Stegosaurus, and Velociraptor, which is good value. That's 9, that's 11 worth of value just for this 8, and also they can attack that turn. And for one of our big finishers, we got Arachnoth the Destroyer, with double strike, and whenever he attacks, deals 4 damage to the nearest enemy. And that does include the castle, so you can do a lot of damage with that. Alright, so for this next one, I will be using the Age of Dinosaurs deck for the Riverside Skirmish. Stand firm, Crusaders. We won't yield to honorless thieves. Lady Genevieve. I really don't like that name. There are so many of them. What should we do? I told you not to panic. Sound the trumpet and summon the knights. But Lady Genevieve, the knights are on strike until they get a pay increase. Pay them what they want. If the pirates have their way, there'll be no gold left anyways. But it'll take at least 5 turns to raise the funds. We can't wait that long. I don't understand. Tutorial Wizard explain. Thanks, Tutorial Wizard. Hiya. I'll draw a card, why not? So for this level you can use the Holy Avenger to break open these, to draw more cards. Because obviously you're at a significant disadvantage with all these Salahar Voyagers over here. And then for some reason there's no defending squares, so I'm just gonna go straight for the castle. Oh my god, he played himself. That's crazy. We'll hope maybe he'll break this open. Alright, now I'm gonna do... Okay, thanks, tutorial wizard. I'm gonna have this guy walk over here, use his ability to damage these guys for 1, because he had 1 counter on him, and then use his last attack, or use his actual attack to kill the guy. I'll send him to kill him. After you have dealt with all their units, they're way down on card advantage, so it should be pretty easy to finish them off. Also, Kunai Master here is going to be your friend, because they have only units with, like, 1 health. Except that guy, I guess. So he'll be able to get a lot of value kills off. And at this point, you just want to continue going for their castle, as they don't have enough to actually deal with their units. And they have no way of blocking the castle. So I'll finish them off with the monkey. Ha ha ha. At last, they're scurrying off. Thieves without spines, that's all they are. Right, Lucian? Lady Genevieve, I've just received word that pirates are inside the keep. What? They're heading for the vaults. And was this frontal attack just a diversion? Confound it! Lucian, gather the soldiers. Let's go. I should totally be a voice actor. Alright. Or the new deck. The Ice Age. I can assume this is going to be about freezing, but I'll take a look and I'll get back to you. Alright, yeah, so this deck is going to be pretty simple. It's all about freezing stuff and using frost spells. So, for our early game, we have the Shield Maiden and the Vaskram Penguin. The Vaskram Penguin is going to benefit from all the freezing you'll be doing, and the Shield Maiden will get you a lot of overloads, which is this spell right here. And for some control, we have Hypothermia, which can take care of early units and also freeze in case you have some freeze synergies going on. For our 2-drops, we have Frost Drake. This card seems very strong. You have basically unlimited freezes every turn. So you can either permastall something, or be guaranteed to get double damage on somebody. And we have Thirst for Battle, which can be used with just your random units to be able to attack twice. Then for 3-drops, we have a lot of those in here. I'm just going to go through them in order. Avalanche is going to freeze everything that's not flying, and also deal 2 damage to all enemy buildings. Not sure how amazing this can be. And I don't think that includes the castle. But freezing all targets has got to be good. You'll use this with some of your charge units, which we'll get to in a bit. We have Brynjolf the Brawler with Chain Lightning 2 and his attacks push enemies up to 2 spaces. If they hit something, both targets take 2 damage. That will happen... That chain lightning will happen where the target lands, not where it is attacked from. So he's a good way of controlling and dealing a lot of damage to one dude as well. I would kind of like him to have ambush, but he's just fine here. Chill Spectre is going to just be a flying stealth unit. You can sneak into your opponent's side of the field, and then once it dies, you can use its Grave Call to freeze any unit. Probably your opponent's unit. Halls of Frost is going to let you pay 3 to summon any unit from your hand, but it comes into play frozen. So that means you can summon any unit. So you can summon your big late game units just for 3. Unfortunately, there's not really any big payoffs in this deck for this for some reason. I would hope there would be more expensive units. Like, there are some, but as you can see, it only gets up to 7. There's only 1 of those. But anyway, still can get some good value. Or you can just use it to block your castle by placing it on a defense square. We have Ice Elemental. Just as soon as he played, he'll freeze an enemy unit. Leatherbound Books. Just kind of a cheap guy. You can sneak into your opponent's back lines or take out some small units, or just use him to block, because he'll recycle a card back in your hand. And then we have the Triceratops and Rider, which will cheapen your next Frost spell. The main Frost spell you'll probably be using with this. I guess you could use it with like Hypothermia to make it free. But might be Friend of Dragons, which will have you summon 2 Frost Drakes, and if any target is frozen, which pretty likely with this deck, you get to summon another. Then Ice Walker Giant. I love this card. This card's very cool because he summons a bunch of penguins. So whenever he deals damage, he'll summon a penguin, and when he dies, he'll summon 2 penguins. So we'll be getting a lot of penguins with this guy. A really cool card in this deck is Skeletal Bear, mainly because of its charge and its 4 damage. So if you have a lot of units in your a lot of tombstones in your graveyard, it'll cost 2. So a 2-cost 4/3 with charge is excellent. And if your opponent's castle is frozen, and there's no defenders or anything, you can summon this, charge it up to the castle, and it'll do 8 damage. Because anything that's frozen will take double damage from attacks. And one of the main late game finishers in this deck is going to be Yarm Giant. With Chain Lightning 3 and Warcry, give a random friendly unit +1/+1 for each Frost or Lightning spell you've cast this game. So that includes Hypothermia, the overloads from Shield Maiden, Avalanche, and Friend of Dragons. So you can get some pretty good value off that, especially if you've gotten a lot of these overloads from Shielded Maiden. So you want to keep this guy alive, or this girl alive, as long as possible. And then finally, we have Yenneroth, Queen of Ice, where if 2 or more targets become frozen during your turn, summon 3 Frost Drakes. And you can pay 2 or pay 8 to freeze the 2 nearest enemies. And those Frost Drakes will still have this ability, so you can pay 2 to freeze enemy units, which is pretty cool. And then those can fly to the backlines. So overall, this deck is all about freezing and getting and playing Frost and Lightning spells for your Yarm Giant, and then sneaking in and doing some extra damage to frozen units because they take double damage. So we'll go ahead and do the Robin's Ruse campaign level with this deck. Stop right there, pirate. Oh, good. What voice did I do for this? I don't know. Oh, good heavens, you're here. Well, I've nothing to fear. Of course that rhymed. Oh my god, this is gonna rhyme too. You were a bit too slow, and you've missed the show. Lady Genevieve! He has the Helm of Andvor! Oh no, not the Helm of Andvor. What? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Aw, it seems my intentions have been found. But I can't stick around. I always bring the action. So have this distraction! Sorry, that probably peaked the mic too. Destroy the Leviathan. Oh my. Oh, this is perfect for this deck. Because what I can do is I can freeze it. Yes, block with all my peasants. Okay. Okay, bye tutorial wizard. So all I have to do is destroy the... or do I have to win? I don't think I have to win. Alright, let's see what he's got. He can't destroy this, surely. Alright, now I'm going to use this ice elemental. Ooh. Or I can use this. So this will make it into a 8/6 and it'll freeze. This will go up to 2 attack, which means when it attacks that, it will do 4 damage because it'll have 2 attack and that'll be doubled. I think I can have this guy attack and that'll do 2 damage and that'll kill it. Haha, I beat the Leviathan. Oh, that was it. Okay, so you don't get to see the whole thing of this deck, but that was kind of very well made to perfectly destroy that Leviathan in the time you were given. Okay. He's gone. That must have been the dread Pirate Robbins. Yeah. No crap, that was his name. He didn't seem all that dreadful. Sort of jovial, if you ask me. Shut up, bro, you were crying. Will you take this more seriously? Our most sacred relic has been taken. By pirates, no less. Oh, of course, Lady Genevieve. John... Apologies. You'd better send out messages to our allies. Let them know the pirates have a leader, and they're getting bold. Okay. Swift strikes. Again, I'll take a look at this, and I'll be right back. Alright, so this deck is all about swarming out a bunch of cheap minions and trying to whittle down your opponent's castle as soon as possible. So, for our 1-drops, we got Killer Monkey and Shield Maiden returning, just as sort of a base. Killer Monkey can get some damage on the opponent's castle or take out 4 health units. And Shield Maiden can get you a bunch of overloads in your hand to buff up your units. And then we have Cancel Magic. Just kind of a 1-of thrown in here for some reason. But that'll counter your opponent's early spells. Oh, that'll probably keep your cheaper minions alive longer. And Storm Strike. You give Chain Lightning to your units and have it so they can lock on your opponent's castle with that Chain Lightning, even if there's blockers in the way. That's our 1-drops. 2-drops we got a lot of. I'm not going to go through everything, but actually, I might as well. So Ishikura returns, and he can get a lot of damage if you have drawn a lot of cards, which is very possible with this deck. Because he'll spend his counters and can deal damage to enemy units and the castle with his ability, as long as he's made it up there. Kondo the Traveler. As soon as he's played, he can attack. And he can get pretty big and have a lot of chain lightning if your opponent controls 3 or more units. So that can be useful if your castle's being swarmed by a lot of units. Kunai Warrior is great at dealing damage to the enemy's castle, as he'll deal extra damage with his ability, and can also just get ping 1 health units to death. And we have Lightning Blade, just gets more chain lightning on your units to hopefully have them deal damage to the enemy's castle. Omayawa Moshindaru is pretty cool. I feel like there should be a 2 of them in this deck. Actually, maybe not. But as soon as your opponent plays any unit with this card, they die. So, not your opponent, the unit. Thirst for Battle honestly doesn't really make sense in this deck. It can make sense with Kunai Warrior, I guess. And Axe Thrower, which we'll get to. But not the greatest card in here. Brynjolf the Brawler is returned as well, as he can get some extra damage on the castle. Got Kunai Warriors back, so he can also deal damage to the castle with his ability, and can also ping 1 health units. Leatherbound Books are back. Just card draw and sneaking in the opponent's backlines. Mystic Panda returns as well, as sort of a tempo card, because you can control your opponent's plays while developing a unit. Sheep to the Slaughter as a one-off in this deck. He will, I guess that's an executioner. But anyways, it'll buff up all your little units to deal a lot of damage, or it can just buff up 1 unit to get that finishing blow off that you need. And Vascom Warrior can just get pretty big, and his cleave will also be able to lock onto the enemy's castle if he's right next to it. Then we have for 4 drops, we have the Axe Thrower. I like this card a lot, honestly. Whenever it attacks, you can deal 2 damage to 2 random enemies. That can even be used on the neutral buildings that spawn all the time, so you can just have him attack, and she'll throw her axes and just start killing people. Honestly, really like it. We got the Horseback Samurai. Should also be actually shouldn't be a 2-up. It's a pretty expensive card. But whenever it attacks during your turn, summons a unit in your hand that costs 3 or less. So this can be a great way of getting out your little dudes on the opponent's side of the field. And Mecha Shiva. Whenever you cast a spell, activate the next effect, so it'll activate it in sequence. So for 1 spell, we'll give it flying. A second spell will give it +1/+1 and double strike. And then a third spell will deal 3 damage to 3 enemies. So this can get pretty big and also deal a lot of damage if it just kind of sits in the back. Because 3 damage to 3 enemies is a lot of damage, honestly. Then we have Ice Walker Giant. There's not any freezing in this deck, but this is just to get out a lot of units and just continue to have a board presence. Kaiger also can just kind of stick around and make your opponent's life more annoying because of its regenerate, and its stats are a little bit annoying to get rid of as well. And Thor, God of Thunder. Normally you play this with a big lightning spell so that you get a lot of value off of it. But in this deck, you are going to be playing a lot of low-cost lightning spells that'll cast twice. So like your Storm Strikes, your Lightning Blades, which is an equipment, will be equipped twice, and the Overloads from Shield Maiden will also cast twice. So you do want to kind of save those until you really need them, or until you have Thor, because that'll be a lot of card draw and chain lightning and stuff. So overall, it's about finding sneaky ways to get damage onto the opponent's castle by bypassing their units. I would be thinking about maybe putting where is it? Tranquility in this deck. I feel like that has a very reasonable place in here. But this is just about the pre-built decks themselves. So, end winter tournament. Oh no, I have to do more voices. It's fine. King Ragnar, a message has arrived from Andor Cathedralis. Oh my god. It seems urgent. A message? Bah! You know I don't like to read. Besides, it's the end winter tournament. If they won't let me fight, I'm at least going to watch. With you in the ring, there will be no contest. But don't worry. A special exhibition match has been prepared for you. Excellent. I can't wait to brandish my axe. Oh my god! What is that? What? Alright, well luckily we have Brynjolf. Put your hands together for... Put your hands together for our next contestant, Brynjolf of Baskrim. Sorry if that's peaking the mic. I can't figure out how loud or how quiet it wants me to be. Where is he? Over there. Oh my god, he's huge. Freya, look! It's my cousin Brynjolf! Punch him good, Bryn. Will do, Chief. Yeah, punch him good. I'm just gonna keep her there, I guess. Are they going to be alright? I think I can see Bone. I'm sure he's fine. Someone get a doctor down there. Someone get a doctor down there. Of course they're all going to that side. That's super helpful. Oh, actually, hold on. Ha 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 ha. Shabam. So yeah, that chain lightning was able to take out all those units because they were all connected. But yeah, this game's gonna be a walk in the park. Buff him up so his ability will do damage. And then I can attack with him again afterwards. I'll do one more punch, and then this guy, when he pushes the castle into the tombstone, it'll deal an additional 2 damage because of his ability. I don't believe it. A clean sweep from Brynjolf. And that means he'll be moving on to the final round. Will you look at this letter now? Can't you just tell me what it says? I know you've already read it. Fine. Genevieve of the Crusaders reports one of their holy artifacts was stolen by pirates. She urges caution. Pirates, eh? Kindred spirits, they say, we sail. We just sail in the cold. Lighten up, Freya. Brynjolf's about to fight again. Oh, you don't get a deck from that. Alright. I'll do another game with this Swift Strikes deck. I think this might be one of the better ones of the bunch. And our final round, we have a special guest. Please welcome, all the way from Hassan City, Croxus, the god of the arena. They got Craxus this year. No wonder tickets are so expensive. King Ragnar, we should think about moving the Horn of Bajorn. The Horn of Bajorn. Sorry. To a safer location, if it's stolen. Not now, Freya. Gods, can't you see the fight's about to start? The elders will be very upset. Destroy Craxus, Brynjolf must survive. Easy. Uh-oh. Yeah, Craxus is going down. Where is he? In this one. Oh, shoot. I'm not gonna go easy on you, kid. Wouldn't dream of it, Chief. Isn't Brynjolf the older one? So I'm just gonna have him move forwards, and then I'm just gonna completely obliterate him next turn. So... Actually, you know what I can do? I'm gonna chop that guy up. In there. Now he can't get all the way over here. And I'll send in this killer monkey. And next I'm gonna sheeps to the slaughter. And just completely annihilate him, hopefully. That's the plan. Yeah, he's gonna die. Sheeps to the slaughter! Oh wow, I didn't even need all of them. Yeah, Brynjolf, get him. Yeah, Brynjolf! Good job, my man! And Brynjolf emerges victorious. 3 cheers for the bare-handed beast of Vaskrame. That's what I'm talking about! That's my cousin! Hold on, folks. Seems like there's an interruption in the arena. Oh no! What? Who let out the frost drakes? Those are for you to fight! Me? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Better get down here, Chief. I don't know, everybody's just having different voices at this point. Okay. How many more do we got left? Oh my god, there's a lot of them. I'll probably just split this into 3 parts. Alright, I'll do one last one. Lords of Thunder. I will figure this deck out, then I'll get back to you. Alright, as you can probably tell, this is a deck about lightning spells. Yeah, I'm playing a lot of them, so we'll just get into it. We got Cancel Magic and Flare. Just kind of thrown in here. I don't really know why specifically. They're just... Deck probably just needed some early game control. Then Shield Maiden, gonna be excellent. Fuel in your hand with lightning spells, so keep this alive as long as possible. Storm Strike to give a unit Chain Lightning, and allowing you to draw a card. And being a lightning spell. Vaskrame Marauder, you can pay 1 to give it +2 attack. So it's just gonna be a useful, can be a strong beater in the early game. And then War Cow's finally made its return. Hasn't been in any of these structure decks yet, but it's a nice sight to see. Lightning Blade is also... Oh, alright. On to 2-drops. Lightning Blade is Lightning Blade. You know, pretty useful lightning spell. Reckless Firemancer. You'll usually want to use this surge effect so you can draw spell cards from your deck. 3 damage is a lot of damage, but just getting a free spell card is pretty useful. Thirst for Battle's back again. That'll mainly synergize with War Lady Freya and Rakanoth the Destroyer, which we'll get to. And for our only 3-drop, we have one 3-drop, and that's Brynjolf the Brawler. So he's back. Just mainly going to be using him for control, because this deck doesn't seem to have a lot of early game. It seems to be pretty late game heavy. Actually, I guess it has a lot of 1s and 2s. Anyways, for 4 drops, yeah, another lightning spell, Chaotic Storm. Do 1 damage to 3 enemies twice, and summon a random 3-cost unit. I can see this being a pretty fun card. And just being able to control enemies as well. Ragnar, King of Thunder, finally makes his appearance in a deck. Chain Lightning 2, and your other units with Chain Lightning gain +2/+1. This will include when a unit gains Chain Lightning from Lightning Blade or Storm Strike. Where am I? Here I am. And whenever another friendly unit with Chain Lightning attacks, draw a card. It's going to be really cool to get some extra damage on the enemy's cast or to take out bigger units. And we have Summon Elemental, which will summon a 4/4 Elemental with Chain Lightning. And this is a lightning spell. We'll see why that's important in a bit. We have War Lady Freya. Actually, I can just say it right now. With Thor, this will be a 2-cost spell that'll summon 2 elementals. But we'll get to him in a second, even though we already went over him. War Lady Freya. There are a lot of guys that can just kind of get big, or spells that'll buff your units a little bit, and that'll allow them to qualify for this draw. And there's plenty of blue units in this deck to be cheapened by its effect, or by War Lady Freya's effect. Ice Walker Giant makes its return. What's really cool with Ice Walker Giant is when it has Chain Lightning, every unit that it chains to will count as another instance of damage. So you'll be able to get a penguin for each thing that the Chain Lightning is chained onto. So that can be really cool. The Yarm Giant is one of your main payoffs for all the lightning spells you'll be casting. And it can get your units to be pretty big, and they will also qualify for Freya in the future. Just a random big control spell is Dragon's Fire. It's kind of random, as the only dragon in here is Rakanoth the Destroyer, but I assume there's just not that much big removal in blue and red. Well, there is. I don't know why you wouldn't... I mean, there's probably better options than Dragonfire. But it's in here, so might as well utilize it. Thor, God of Thunder. If you ever do pull a second one of these, you should immediately put that in this deck, because this is going to be your main method of lightning spell payoffs, as all your lightning spells are going to be much cheaper and cast twice, so you can get a lot of extra value out of them. Then we have Kargrom Firelash, which is going to not be amazing. Actually, in this deck, it can be pretty cool. So, destroy all tombstones in your graveyard. It costs 1 less for each. And then whenever it damages the enemy castle, deal 5 damage to enemy units. This will work with Chain Lightning. So if you give him Chain Lightning and he chains onto the castle, he'll do that explosion of 5 damage to all enemy units. Your opponent will probably figure out that you're trying to give it Chain Lightning though, so I don't expect this to really get that much payoff. Rune of Thunder is going to be your best synergy with Thor, as it'll cost 5 and it'll summon 4 elemental or lightning elementals in total. And getting all of those elementals with, oh, it used to be Chain Lightning 4. With Chain Lightning 2, can do a lot of splash damage and can be pretty cool. And finally, Rakanoth the Destroyer's back. And he will be one of your main finishers to deal a lot of damage to the enemy's castle. Alright, I'll do this last level surprise round. And then we'll call it a day. I don't like this. Someone let these drakes out without permission. Who cares? Nothing to do but beat him up now. Crexus, Brynjolf, make some room for the king. You got it, chief. Do you just... I don't have another deep voice. Do you just call everyone that? King Ragnar, I'll head to the ice vaults. This could be the work of the pirates. Huh? Oh, right. Yes, Freya. Make sure the horn of Bjorn is safe. Alright. This looks pretty bad in the background. I assume we're gonna get some Chain Lightning. But that's a lot of drakes. Oh shoot, I just realized. Who did it say needed to survive? Well, I'm gonna... Oh, none of them can attack. What am I supposed to do? Oh, okay. He can attack, he's just grayed out for some reason. So I'm actually gonna send this guy in to this corner. That didn't push him all the way. Push enemies up to 2 spaces. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, now they actually have defense squares. Great. I'm just gonna have to hope that maybe he'll attack this cow. Oh, he just decided not to attack at all. That doesn't make any sense. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't really understand. But whatever, I mean, there's no coming back for him now. Oh, they probably only have frost drakes in their hand. But, whatever. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. I can buff this cow up, I guess. I would have preferred to move Ragnar out of the way. But it's fine. Game's over. Cow. Alright. Oh my god, stop thief, drop that. Oh dear, you've caught me in the act. I'd hoped to escape with more tact. But feel free to chase after me. If you just stand there, I'll be home free. Stop taunting me, come back here. Ah, dang it, he's so fast. Freya, what happened? Oh, now you're here. The pirates already absconded with the Horn of Bajorn. Absconded? He took it. No! Alright, the elders won't be happy about this one. Alright, in the next video I will go over the Burning Rush deck. And do a few more of these levels, because there's a lot of them. Probably do 2 more episodes of this, but... Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you learned a bit about these decks. And I hope you have a great day.